It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hi guys, good morning. It's the 12th of April 2019. It's a 8 a.m. CET time. Piotr here, and this is the pre-London Open live market preview on Light Forex Global on YouTube channel. Let's start with risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind trading FX, trading crypto on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investments, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, it's Friday. Maybe it's good that's the Friday. When I was trying to check euro dollar, right, for the whole week, so really nothing really happened. Someone asked a very good question yesterday on Twitter, if anyone on the world is long G10 FX volatility. So even pound is boring this week like hell. I've been expecting some kind of the volatility around the EU summit, Brexit related, and this extension. Nothing like this that happened. Overnight during the Tokyo session, bulls on euro dollar tried again to push price higher. So we cleaned some more stops and we hit another supply, intraday supply, and we are going to discuss this in a second. What's on the agenda, what's in the calendar today? Nothing special, so it might happen that we are going to see slow move, quiet moves into the weekend. So be very, very careful. Don't be trapped trying to trade late on Friday. Anyway, at 11 CET, there is an industrial production out of EU, weaker expectations. Then we do have, right after the New York Open at 2:30 CET, we do have US import prices. And at 4 p.m. CET, we do have this preliminary University of Michigan consumers sentiment. From the FX perspective, of course, devil is in details, so we are gonna to check preliminary Michigan inflation expectations. So that's how I see the things. So it's really, really quiet here. So yeah, I wouldn't expect, at least for now, I wouldn't expect big fireworks. Also, Monday, nothing special. Tuesday, next week, there is a monetary policy meeting minutes after the latest RBA meeting. And again, in UK, job market, in Germany, ZEF index. So yeah, pretty much that's it. Look, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, there are nothing extraordinary in calendar, at least for now, nothing what can move that market much, right? Unless suddenly we are gonna to see the profit taking from the from being short volatility on the G10FX side. Anyway, let's start with dollar index. Okay, so again, mostly because of the dollar yen, bulls were able to recover on dollar index and got back into that range. All right, so what we have right now, we have retest another, right? Retest again, we are retesting. Yeah, we are retesting for the last few days. Anyway, it's not that clear, and I'm gonna to explain in a moment when we are gonna to have euro dollar and dollar yen into this. We are gonna to get the euro dollar and the dollar yen into the discussion, but the picture here on the dollar index might not be that clear because of this dollar yen strong move. And we know that after euro dollar, dollar yen is the second toughest detail within the dollar basket. All right. So watching carefully, of course, there is a for bulls from the weekly perspective as we are approaching end of the week. Plenty of things to care about. So looks like we found for now support base on the high from 3 weeks ago, all right? So trying to build the lower shadow, preparing for a breakout, right? So that's what we were discussing whole week this week. But to be honest with you, because of euro dollar, because of this supply around 1330, we also discussed this supply for a whole week. It's still, we might see a little bit lower dollar index to retest the latest weakness. That's what I've been explaining a few times already before we move higher. So either we are gonna to try to push harder into the end of the week, or there are gonna be more boring stuff with retest of the retests of the retest of the retest, right? Anyway, there is a still chance that at least stops around 97.60, 97.80 are gonna to be tested. That's my way of thinking. Okay, so let's get back to the platform and let's check the details on euro dollar. Okay, let's say so. First thing first, taking into consideration the price action for the whole week, I would say that this Tokyo price action, that was a strong push to the upside. More stops were cleaned, so that's the ECB high, right? We took some stops yesterday, and today we took stops based on the yesterday high and we hit another supply, and that's what we discussed many times, right? First supply, second supply, and the final one where I think we are gonna to get there is this one around 1320, 1330. There you go. That's the possible supply. And to be honest with you, I have an idea in my head how it might look, taking into consideration that the still volatility is gonna be low. I would like to see I'm gonna explain you everything in details. Okay, now because of this move to the downside over here and this lower low compared to this, okay, so because of this move to the downside here, we do have possible demand a little bit higher, right? So because of this breakout to the upside, all right, we have possible demand a little bit higher this time, around 1275, 1265, all right? And if that's gonna hold and we are gonna to see, we might see 1-to-1 exact move to the upside, okay? And that's the way we can finally hit this supply. And because of still low volatility, and I think it's gonna survive into the weekend, we might see rejection into the weekend and move back like this. So what I'm gonna to watch during the London session, if this 75.65 holds, I'm gonna switch to lower time frame. But after the London Open, right? So we still got the time until London Open, and I'm gonna to look for the possibility to try to join the long side here, right? If that holds. There is one more possible approach to the situation we had during the Tokyo session, taking into the consideration that this attempt to break lower failed. So we market is able to make similar in size move to the upside. So in that case, that's only 113, right? So it might end up that we are not gonna hit 1320, 1330. We might just hit psychological 113. That's what you have to have in mind. That's what I have at the back of my head, right? But still trying to choose correct zone to try to get in, right? So if everything, because if I'm gonna be stopped out, I'm gonna be stopped out, that's it, end of the game, right? But if I'm correct with this zone, even we are gonna to test 113 based on the failure of the breakdown, I'm gonna have plenty of time to decide what I'm gonna to do, right? With my position. Either I'm gonna to move stop above the entry, I might decide to take partial profit here, right? But that's gonna be around 25-30 pips in profit if my way of thinking is correct and if I'm gonna be long, right? So let's try to switch, let's clean it up. Let's try to switch to smaller time frame. Let's have a look what we have inside 75-65 possible demand zone on a lower time frame. So let's change the color. And let's have a look what we have on a smaller time frame. Let's have a look what we have on 15-minute chart. And on 15-minute chart, so that's the dark orange is from the 1 hour, all right? But it's not fit what I see on a 15-minute chart, because on a 15-minute chart, I see the possible demand zone much lower. That's the last supply which has been taken out without the retest, and it corresponds with the bottom of this breakout candle. Nice. Nice. So I may try to adjust trading plan to what I see here. It's just 2 pips lower, right? So I may not necessarily wait at 75. I may want to wait below 70. All right. So let's say something around 60, closer to 65. So closer to the bottom of the possible demand from the hourly. We are gonna have to check it in details on a smaller, even smaller time frame in a second. So let's change the color here. No, that's the 15-minute chart. And that's the 15-minute chart. So let's try on a smaller time frame. Let's have a look what we have. And that's what we are talking about. There you go. The bottom is okay, but that's 61. So right now, as you can see, by going lower, 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 so just don't forget that I'm gonna use smaller time frames for entry, not for the full analysis, right? I've got my zone based on the hourly. We are above this week high, so I've got my view from the daily and hourly, and trying to find the best. It's fine-tuned, trying to make the best possible entry where my entry and distance to the stop is gonna be the shortest the possible, right? Because if I can get in with 8 pip stop, I just need 24 to feel comfortable with 3R, right? So meaning that this 113 lower possible supply zone we discussed based on this failure. Let's get back to hourly again, just for you to fully understand what we are talking about. So if we are gonna to take into consideration this failure over here, right? The rule is that at least we should, once we are above, we should make the same distance we were trying to the downside to the upside. And this one, this is the first possible target around 113. So we may try to just hit the stops above Tokio high, hit that level without hitting 13, 20, 30, and boom, right? So I know where is my first possible target. It's around 113. If I'm gonna be in around 65, I got 35 pips. If I'm gonna have a stop 8, it's well above 3R. Hopefully you got my point. And that's such an important thing from my perspective when doing day trading. Shortest possible distance between entry and stop. So let's get back to this 5-minute chart. Let's place another line. There we go. It corresponds with 15-minute chart, right? It's a little bit lower what we've seen on the hourly, but maybe some kind of the spike, more stop cleaning stuff. Okay. So what I know based on this detailed analysis, that yes, because of Tokyo price action, I know one thing for sure, that from the daily we are actually hit the higher levels over the course of the week, right? I know based on this price action from daily that it might be Riley based continuation. On the hourly, because of the move above this supply, I know that this supply should work as a demand right now, white zone, and based on this zone I went lower, trying to figure it out the best possible entry, in my opinion only. In my opinion only, just to be perfectly clear. All right. So that's how I see the things on euro dollar. The thing is that because of the Tokyo price action, bulls needs to try to hold this breakout level. Otherwise, if we are gonna get back below the orange zone, bulls might be in trouble, and the low post ECB low might be in play here. So that's how I see the euro dollar. Yes, thank you. I'm watching this euro dollar chart for, to be honest with you, more than 15 years already. So I wouldn't say king, that's too big word, but I think at least I know what I'm talking about. So thank you for a kind word. Thank you very much, Mer. So that's euro dollar. Let's have a look, because yeah, we are a little bit short of time. Let's have a look what we have on the dollar yen. Strong comeback. The question is if it's sustained. We were discussing this yesterday morning. That dollar Swiss franc, dollar yen, both looks good. We were also discussing the possibility of the higher prices on the DJ after the stop hunting, and finally we got late stop hunting and then rally. So let's have a look where we are on the dollar index from on the dollar yen from the higher time perspective. So let's have a look. First, let's have a look on the weekly, because we are approaching end of the week, right? Strong recovery. What is important here, in my opinion, that's the strong recovery into the end of the week. Now, the toughest challenge, the biggest challenge for the bulls, trying to hold that gain into the end of the week. The best thing is to try to hold and close above last week high, right? And trying to close above, trying to hold this above this falling candle we had 3 weeks ago, right? So that's how it looks right now from the bull's perspective. And there is a chance, because we have this recovery into the end of the week. So right now the bears are under pressure, right? And if we are gonna to hold for the next few hours like this, the pressure might be even bigger for the bears, so they are gonna to be forced to clean short side into the weekend. We'll see. So what we do right now, we are cleaning more stops, right? We are cleaning more stops here, and there is a quite good chance that what we've seen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the full throttle rally Thursday, huge reversal over here, right? So Blue dotted line is a weekly open. All right. So we are not gonna discover America when we are gonna to say that the blue dotted line this week open reversal, that's the first possible demand. Right? That's the first possible demand. There is a quite good sentiment right now. So in case of the pullback towards 68.52, that might be intraday buying opportunity. So let's switch to the lower time frame. Let's have a look what we have here. So for sure, that's the Monday price action, strong sell-off, never been here until yesterday evening. Market tried to react, very, very tiny pullback, bam, rally. The thing is that after the breakout, we already had the retest. That's tricky a bit, but anyway, that should work, still should work as possible demand for London. Then, because of this Tokio rally, we have possible stops right below Tokyo low. So in case of the deeper pullback, market may try to, where we are, here, but that's, I don't think we are gonna to see. So another supply based on this breakdown, we went through. All right, so once we are gonna to hit these stops below 11.57 Tokyo low, right, we might see a little bit aggressive sell-off. Towards 11.40. I don't expect we are going to see it today, but never say never. That was some here as well. We can put the line over here, something around the psychological round number 1150. So that's from the bull's perspective. Bears, of course, wait, we have to make it 1 hour. Okay, that's should be fine. What about the bears? Bears are going to try to trap bulls somewhere above 12, in my opinion. Yes, Mer, that's 12.20 looks good, but I would be very careful getting closer towards the weekly close. So right, London is going for a weekend. I would be very careful if we are gonna be around that level, because then it might be very easy to push it much higher with lower liquidity. So I would be very careful, being if London is going home for weekend and we are around 12.20, I would be very careful trying to trade short side, as we have strong recovery into the weekly close. So be careful later during the day. So bears, yes, plenty of upper shadows to try to take care of. I think as we took some stops, more stops are coming into the play, right? So levels above 112 with the rejection, that might be the name of the game for bears. So let's have a look if we have any kind of the intraday possible supply based on what we see here above 12, right? Let's have a look. What do we have here? That's the liquidity pool over here, 12.14, and that's the only thing I can see here. Then was lower, yeah. So looks like we are not gonna find. I'm not using 4-hour charts, but let's have a look if we have something. Pool is here, so it's gonna be hit almost for sure. And then this one. So this, yeah, 12.20. It looks like it looks like it's the only name of the game right now. Towards the end of the week, is trying to trap this rally with the strong rejection above 112. But again, I would be very careful trying to be on the short side if after the London close we are still above 112. So yeah, be very careful. And finally, pound. Here, no change in view. From the higher perspective, still this lower highs we may take into the consideration, but we need the close below 130, 129.70 to see lower levels. So in that case, from intraday perspective, either we are gonna to try to trade this over under. So the first look at the pound is around 30.20, or after the stops below 30, right? So either I'm gonna to see any kind of the bullish reaction around 30.20 or below 30 with the stop count. That's the one thing. So we are talking about the reversal. Same here to the upside. If we see rally towards 31.40.50, if we are gonna to clean the stops here with rejection, that might be the short setup based on this small range, right? Now, if we are gonna to get the breakout, so strong rally, 30% above the range, pullback, then something around 31 might be demand, and because based on this size of the consolidation after the breakout, the same size might be taken into consideration as a target. So in that case, we are talking about levels around 32.20, right? That's what we discussed. There is no change on the pound side to what we discussed. In case of the breakdown, that's the first target, but once we are gonna hit 29.15, that might be something bigger. The 27, 26.50 might be in play from the pound perspective. All right. Thank you, Mer, my pleasure. That's why we are here to try to support each other by sharing information. Okay, so we went through the majors. So let's have a look. Congratulations for the intraday short sellers. Based on what we discussed, I took profit yesterday. Of course not right at the bottom, but I took into the consideration this demand. So yeah, I've been taking the profit over here. finally, let's have a look what we have on the crypto side, and 2 words about the Bitcoin. We had strong rejection, right, around 5,500. That's what we discussed. Sell off yesterday, and just a reminder why we stopped here. It's based on the monthly chart. It's based on this possible demand based on the September 2017 high. Once we went above this level, right, it's here, top of the red range. So we're trying to hold this level, and still there is a chance for rally, huge base, and continuation eventually, right? Still, I think that still this big breakdown over here is a target, also based on the, after we hit lower low over here and we started to consolidate, first breakout, we hit same size of the original consolidation, and if we want to double it, that's the target, right? So looks like, based on few different things, that's the logical way of thinking, that 5,800, 6,000 is a possible target. Anyway, in case of close below the low of the 4th of April, so in case of the close below 4,800 based on this particular chart, actually we may try to get back, if we are gonna to take into the consideration this middle range size, right, failure, we may retest top of the very first consolidation, this breakout point, right? But for now, bulls trying to hold, so possibility of rally, still big base, consolidation phase, and continuation. That's how I see the things for now on the Bitcoin side. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm preparing completely separate meetings, like very short, 20-30 minutes, discussing the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Neo, Tron, etc. Top names, right? But I'm gonna to let you know. All right, guys, that's it from me today. Thank you very much for the support. It's Friday, be careful. Trying to recharge the battery over the weekend, and of course we start next week right from the Monday. So no worries if there are not gonna be trade setup today, no worries. There is a big chance we are gonna to get something on Monday. So have a great weekend all, and see you again on Monday. Have a good one. See you. Bye bye.